Okay, looks like we're live. All set, Terry?
Just one moment, please. The little bar is moving. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Terry. So welcome to the February 21st, 2024 meeting of the Northborough Historic District Commission. I'm Bob Light, Chair. For the remote meeting notices, pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act relative to the extending certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. The order allows the Historic District Commission to meet entirely remotely, so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. All members of the Historic District Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed in the agenda. This meeting will not feature public comment. Each vote taken this evening will be conducted by roll call vote. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Leslie Harrison?
Here.
Brian Swanson?
Here.
Amanda Millette?
Here.
Millie Milton?
Here.
Brian Smith?
Here.
And Tom Reardon, I believe, is on vacation. And Bruce Shute and Lorna Helms are not here. Okay, so we have a quorum. I sent everyone the minutes of the last meeting. If you had a chance to look them over, I could put that on the screen if you want. Are there any changes to that? Corrections? Okay. Then could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
What was the date again?
The date was the January 17th.
Thanks. I move that we accept the minutes for the January 17th Northborough Historic District Commission meeting.
Thank you. Second?
Yep, second.
Okay. Leslie?
Aye.
Brian Swanson?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
Millie?
Aye.
Brian Smith?
Aye.
And Bob Light votes aye. So the minutes are approved. Thank you. Okay, starting off with the on the agenda, old business, the Historic District Commission annual report was completed and it was submitted. I think you all have a copy of the final version.
Mm-hmm.
It was sent to the normal people, and I also we have the new town administrator. Sorry, who and Tim McInerney, and he got a copy as well as the Norm Corbin sent him the preservation plan. So he's up to date now, and I haven't met with him yet, but I plan to. The next item is the library sign. So I just happened to be visiting Crown Trophy today, and the library sign just came in, but it was damaged.
Oh, no.
Not bad, but I decided, and the person at Crown decided, no, let's do it right. So they're going to send it back. It's going to get fixed. I notified the library of that. It was kind of a spot decision, but I just decided if we have to wait another month, they were pretty quick because we put the order in December. So it was less than 2 months.
We're paying thousands of dollars for those things. They should be perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. We don't want that. So I hope you all agree with me, but I decided to have them send it back and they're fine with that.
Did you happen to mention the other condition of the other signs?
I did. I did. I can skip ahead and cover that. I actually took some pictures today, went to them, showed them pictures, and actually, would you like me to share my screen? Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Alright,
it's really pitted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that I just gave them the picture of the full screen. Then the next picture, this shows the pitting.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what they said about this was they thought this might have been caused by the salt truck that comes through when it
Oh.
snows. So I'm not sure what they can do with that, but he did say he's going to go back to the manufacturer and see what can be done. Then I showed them the picture of the frame. So I have, okay, so you can see there
Yeah.
the bottom, that's the bottom frame, and then I
Yeah.
took a picture of this is the right side. And he said that shouldn't be. So he's going to go back to manufacturer and he thinks he can get it taken care of.
Great. Is
So-
it just this one or are there others that are like this?
Well, I don't know. I think we probably need to go around, but I think this was the one. I seem to remember that I think Norm mentioned this before that some of the others looked okay. So I probably need to go around. If anyone is in the area of a sign, take a look at it.
Can you
Okay.
go back to the other pictures before that?
Sure.
Well, the good news is the aqueduct one is well protected right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. We'll have a nice new aqueduct sign
Yeah.
soon. But anyway, this shouldn't be.
Mm-mm. No.
And he agreed. That's good.
Yeah, and he agreed. I'm hoping that he can do something with the pitting. The pitting, really, you can't see it unless you get real close, but it's just it almost makes it look like a historic picture, but
It is,
It's quite the snowstorm.
right.
it is
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, no.
a historic picture.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I have to
Thank
get
you.
back.
Thanks, Bob, for doing that.
Yeah. Thank you.
So anyway, that's good news. Hopefully something will get done. I'll follow up on that. Next on the agenda is the Howard Street National Register status update. And we just got word from Lisa Mouseoff. And this came to Norm, but he copied me and Scott Charpentier.
Charpentier.
Charpentier, yes, thank you. I worked for a French company too, I should know that.
Yeah, I don't think he pronounces it the French way. Charpentier, I think, is.
Yeah.
So the word we got from Lisa was, believe it or not, I finally got comments from the Massachusetts Historical Commission on the draft nomination, not quite 2 years later. So, and then he says she's gonna get back to us with some questions that they might have. So I have not seen those yet. So when I do, I'll share it with the rest of the commission to see if anyone has any input for whatever questions they're asking. But at least that's moving now.
Could you tell me how her last name is spelled?
Yes. M-A-U. S-
N? Sorry,
oh,
N or M?
M as in Mary.
Okay.
A-U-S-O-L-F.
Should have known. Thank you.
Okay. And Brian, I have some notes here that I can send you, might help with the minutes. Just
Okay.
on some stuff that I'm covering. So I can mail that to you. Okay, the next item is under CPA project status is the Howard Street, I'm sorry, the Warped Seminary sign. And I think Leslie has some good news on that.
Yeah, it looks like Kenny said they would replace them. It is because of the heat, they use a 1-inch PVC. And maybe it's just so thin that that 1 inch just might not be enough to withstand the heat, so it warps with the heat. But he did say that they would replace them, so that was good. I don't know which ones though. The only one I noticed was the one in the burial ground, behind the Unitarian Church. So I don't know if any of the others.
Oh, yeah, Brigham Street looks fine. I think Norm mentioned that the others looked okay too, but
Yeah, the others are pretty new. Like the Kaiser section ones are pretty new.
But you mentioned that he was going to go around.
That's what he said. He said he would do an inventory, but I haven't heard. He kind of comes and goes.
That's
Right,
Andy
they-
Clark, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda, the aqueduct marker. Well, I think there's nothing new to report there. We're just waiting for the town meeting. Once it gets approved at the town meeting, then I'll put in the order at the Crown Trophy.
Mhm.
And I have on the agenda the Westboro State Hospital, Chauncey Hall, historic markers. Nothing to report there. I do need to follow up, but they're slow, and I have a feeling that they're not going to do anything in the winter at this point. So I'll follow up on that. Next on the agenda was small projects, specifically the DB Wesson archives. So Tom is not here. I don't think there's anything to report there. Are there any other small projects under CPA? No, I'm sorry, it's not under old business. This would not be a CPA project. So, okay, moving along. Committee representatives update. So the CPC, Leslie?
I don't think there's anything new really. We did meet again, but it was to discuss the 429 Whitney Street. So nothing has changed in terms of the as of the last meeting with the historic project. So nothing new there.
Millie, the master plan implementation committee?
Yep, there isn't too much new, other than we did have a joint meeting with Board of Selectmen on, just to review some of our aspects of the project with them. And hopefully the downtown revitalization changes that we're hoping to bring forth at town meeting will get some positive support and allow us to move forward on our downtown and historic aspects.
Good. Yeah, I saw it looks like those three regions are the same that were discussed at the town meetings. And the first one that looks like it's going to be worked on is Blake Street area.
That's the phase one. Yeah.
And then the river area will be number 2.
Ideally, it just depends on how much movement we have from some of the other property owners.
Okay. One of what I wanted to add to that, I'm not sure where this fits, but there's that new town hall feasibility study.
Mhm.
Are any of the commission members involved in that?
Not the specific MPIC committee members. There is a feasibility study, I think that they're doing on that one,
Mhm.
but that's not specific to us.
But are any of our commission involved in that?
Oh, historic.
Anyone?
you mean-
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
anyone-
didn't see the details until I saw that announcement today about the meeting on Tuesday.
Right.
So I didn't even know.
I plan to attend that, but I'm just wondering if anyone is involved in that, because we should probably include that in our agenda going forward.
Mm. Yeah, no, not that I know of, unless either it's somebody who's not here tonight, but I'm not aware.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll add it to the agenda, and then whoever has any information on it, we can cover it at our next meeting.
Okay. and that's the for West Main Street feasibility. Is that kind of what you're,
The town hall feasibility.
yeah,
I don't know if they're still considering White Cliffs for that. I know that,
I don't think so.
okay.
I think that they were looking at that for West Main.
Well, we'll bring it up at the I think it will affect us in some way, because it's, even if they're dealing with they're probably
Either
gonna
way,
do some
yeah.
historic building. So we'll keep that on the agenda going forward.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the old town hall isn't a historic building, right?
I guess it's not, because it's rebuilt.
Right.
Yeah. Mm.
It's only in the 80s, right? So it's only, coming up
Yeah.
on 40-ish years.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Although, well, yes, that's true. Anyway, it's probably something we want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely.
I know
I'm
for
gonna try to get
example,
there too. I have a 5:30 meeting, but
this is Tuesday.
yeah.
Okay. Also, going back to the master plan implementation, when we were talking about Blake Street, obviously, there's several historic buildings on Blake Street, the Sawyer's Bolodrome and whatever.
Yeah.
That used to be there was an old tavern there and an old barn at one point. But anyway, there are historic buildings there, and they're all listed on Macris.
Hmm.
Okay, is there any other committee representation that I missed? Okay, that covers it. Okay, for new business, we had been a member of the Preservation Massachusetts, and the renewal, I guess we needed to renew in January. It's $50. It was sent to Norm and he forwarded it to me. So since it's $50 dues, I do want to authorize payment to them so we can continue our membership.
Yeah.
So I would like to have a motion to renew the 2024 membership in the Preservation Massachusetts at a cost of $50.
So moved.
So moved. Okay. And second?
Second,
Okay, thank you. Leslie,
Aye.
Brian Swanson,
Aye.
Amanda,
Aye. Aye.
Millie,
Aye.
Brian Smith,
aye.
and I vote aye. So that passes and we can make the funds. So we're fine in our budget. I don't think we spent anything this year, so that so we now have $450 left. And I did ask for more money next year. We'll see how that goes.
No, we can't carry it over, right? It's use it or lose it.
We can't carry it over now.
Okay, so should we think like we ordered books one time? We should maybe think about,
Mm.
Okay. We it's good until the next fiscal year, right? July? Is it
Right.
July?
yep, July 1st. What about the
250?
yeah, 250th
Mhm,
celebration?
something on that.
Well, that we have money for, but I asked for additional money for the 250 celebration, but that won't be until July. So our budget is essentially, I've asked to double our budget because I expect that there might be some expenditures associated with that.
I guess I'm proposing that we think about allocating the 450 that we have to that or to some other, at least have a discussion about, it doesn't have to be
Well-
tonight, like you said, we have time, but I hate to just see, I don't want to just spend it for the sake of spending it, but if we can find a good use for it, I'd like to.
No, and I would ask everyone to think of something that would be useful, but at this point, nothing's going to be spent unless we go through a formal appropriation vote. In terms of the Revolution 250, we have nothing to spend at this time, so there's nothing for us to authorize. But I did want to have, I mean, there's talk about banners and a few things like that might we might have to chip in. Now, there are other organizations involved in 250, the Cultural Council, Community Affairs, and also the Historical Society. So it's not sure who, if we have to chip in some money, we will. But again, I'd have to go back to you to authorize that. Okay, now that's a good lead into the next.
I just want to request then that we put it on the agenda for the next meeting to
Yes.
talk
Okay.
about.
Okay. Talk about possible appropriations.
Yep. Thank you.
Brian, you got that?
Yep.
Okay, let me just follow the agenda again. Okay, I'm going to go back up to the Northborough Revolution 250. Just to let everyone know that we had a meeting in January. The next meeting is scheduled for next Wednesday. And so we have an interesting group. Let me share the screen. It's still a growing group.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is the group that we have right now. But as you can see, we have two people from the Historic District Commission, Brian and myself. Historical Society, we have Community Affairs. We have the Cultural Council, Terry Underwood. Someone from Cable Access TV, in addition to Terry. Bob Marchetta is just recently been hired by the National Park Service in Concord. So we have good representation across the board.
Hmm.
And again, this we expect to be growing. One of the things is people are going to be reaching out to the Boy Scouts, to the school system, the possibly other groups within Northborough. One of the things that came up at the meeting. Before I leave this, wait a second.
I'm impressed at how well you're doing with this, Bob. I'd be a mess.
You spoke too soon because I'm
sorry, but you guys are being seen a lot more than you want to see on mine.
okay. This is a kind of a list of the interesting events that have occurred. I don't know if you can read that. Okay, but it does start in 1774, which again that would be this year. Of course, the big things happened in 1775 with Captain Wood and the Minutemen, and also interesting pointing out June 3rd, 1776. So that would be in a couple years from now. The town voted to support independence ahead of July 4th.
Well,
which I think is something. So there's a lot of interesting things here. We added a few that you see in red about the British spies that came through Northborough, trying to before Lexington conquered, they wanted to scout out between Boston and Worcester. They came through Northborough and they did some scouting to find out what would happen if they sent troops through here. And they apparently were captured. And there's also a bicentennial coming up in 2025 for Lafayette. Lafayette came back 50 years after the Revolution and decided to tour America, and he came through Northborough. So anyway, so those are the things that we're now looking at. We're planning to do events, parades, reenactments. Someone in the Cable Access TV is going to do a show on Revolution 250. So some interesting things happening. Okay, let's go back. All right. So one of the things that came up was how we would organize the Revolution 250 in terms of it does have to be a formal town committee or commission. And that would be a real issue because it would probably have to get voted on by the select board. People would have to be sworn in, nominated, things like that. So we decided what we would be better to do as a volunteer organization that would be represented by the various commissions that are involved. Currently, it's Historic District Commission, Cultural Affairs, and I'm sorry, Community Affairs and Cultural Council.
Hmm.
And then we have outside of the town would be the Historical Society, and any other private groups or individuals, and then the cable access TV would be another group represented. So to make sure that we were doing everything right, because one of the issues came up is what about if we needed to do fundraising for any events? So we met with Diane Wackel, who's now the new assistant administrator, to review the plans, and she felt everything was fine the way we were organizing it, that it could stay a volunteer private committee, but have representation from the various commissions.
You said that Diana's the new assistant?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's really great.
And trying to remember, so they have a new person moved in from I think from the building department. I believe it's Agnes.
Yeah.
Agnes, I think.
And was it Annie Bassett?
No,
No, Agnes.
wait a second. It's
Not Lisa.
okay. Well, Angie, I'm sorry, Angie Soden,
Okay.
and also Linda Lapierre.
Yeah.
Okay, so both of those are basically replacing Diane Wackel.
Hmm.
So anyway, that looks good. There is a possibility that it will be a formal committee of the Historical Society, which would make it a nonprofit. And I think that might make it easier for fundraising because it would then become a nonprofit.
Yeah.
That still has to go through approval by the Historical Society. Norm Corbin is going to be handling that. He's going to bring it up at the next board meeting.
He's the
But-
new chair, right? He's the new chair, historical?
He's going to be the new historian.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So he's not the chair, he's the historian, but I guess he's on the executive committee. So he'll bring that up, and whether that happens or not, I don't think it's going to hurt us one way or another. We'll still be independent, but if we are part of the Historical Society, it might make it easier for fundraising. Okay, so that's that. Okay, I already mentioned the town hall feasibility study. So that's all for committee representatives. New business. Okay, we've voted on Preservation Massachusetts membership renewal. The Aqueduct Trail Project update. I think Leslie has some update on that.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I got distracted for a second. What was that?
Okay, the Aqueduct Trail Project. You got some input on that.
Not really. Brian, I reached out to Brian Belfer and he said he was going to check with Bob Mihalik and I never heard back.
Okay, yeah, the email from Lori Connors said that the progress on the bridge project has been stalled for many months due to inability to maintain to update the permit, and there's some issues with MWRA, and I think it's up to them at this point. So
Okay, that sounds like a better update. Yeah.
nothing is happening. Okay. Next item is the Legacy Tree Program. Has anyone ever heard of the Legacy Tree Program?
Is that what,
No.
what Julianne was talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she asked me to attend. So I did. And it was really very interesting. Apparently there's a Massachusetts Legacy Tree Program, and they identify, you can submit an application to have a tree named as a legacy tree. And there are three criteria. First, it would be how big it is. It's, the circumference, the height, the width. And if it falls within a certain percentage of the largest tree of that species, then it becomes a legacy tree. The second criteria, though, for our purposes would be historic. So if it has a historic background. And then third criteria would be a botanical significance of the tree. So Northborough has one legacy tree right now. It's up in the Edmund Hill Trail area,
Oh, wow.
not far from the aqueduct. But what I spoke with the some person from the garden club, and we exchanged information. Her name is Kathleen Deverix. And one thing that came to my mind was that maybe we could identify trees that have some historical significance in Northborough and work with the garden club to get it certified.
So what was the historic significance of the one in Edmund Hill Woods?
That was not historical significant. That was it was just big. It was.
Oh, I thought, so it doesn't need to meet all three criteria.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't need to be all three.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
if that was a magnolia tree. I don't know anything about trees, so I was really like a fish out of water there. But it was an interesting presentation. There was a person there from UMass that was giving the presentation, and she had gone around to all these trees, taking pictures of it, and she was explaining how the process works. So we would only be involved if we came across a historical tree. So I want to open it up to the commission to say, if you know of any trees that are historical, now that would be either age or possibly a famous person that might have planted the tree.
Brian, do you have any on your property?
Mm.
Or Millie?
I've,
Or
mm,
Nora? I mean, like any of you folks with the antique homes, are there any?
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, we had two really big maples when we first moved in, but both of them have succumbed to
Yeah.
age and disease.
Say Levy too? There's not, is that what you mean to say Levy or?
No, at our house.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything at C'est La Vie.
It's just something to keep in mind. I didn't have anything in mind, but
Well, I wonder the Maney property, because it's quite large and there's a lot of woods there, and it was one of the first meeting houses, so there might be something. They're getting ready to sell it, I think. We're put it on the market, is what I heard. But that's one thought, just because it is pretty expansive property there.
well, what I agreed with the garden club was that we would support them if they or we would approach them if we came across a tree that we thought would be a good candidate from a historical perspective. So I think we can leave it at that, but it's just something to keep in mind, put on the agenda.
Yeah.
Or maybe even in the cemeteries. Would any in the cemeteries? Like, what about the one by, was there a mass burial of was it typhoid, typhus?
At Brigham Street?
No, in Howard Street.
On Howard Street, yeah.
So the mass grave wasn't typhoid. It was, what was it? Yellow, no, I forget what it was, but there was some, Brian, you know about this, right?
Yeah. Brian? I don't know about any trees.
Yeah, I just
What-
wondering. I don't know what makes it significant.
Yeah, it's probably also difficult to determine something is historical. There were a few trees, for example, one of the trees, I can't remember which town it's in, but it was planted by Teddy Roosevelt.
Huh.
So it made it historic. But how would you someone knew that. There's also a tree in, I can't remember the town, but it's the direct center of the state of Massachusetts.
Uh,
And there's a tree there that is the geographical
Oh, I just
center
heard about
of the
that
state.
recently. I forget where it is, but yeah, I just heard about that recently.
Yeah, I think it's up just northwest of Worcester.
That's not, I know there's one tree, I forgot what town it is, but it's the Crocker maple. It's enormous, and it might be the oldest registered tree or on the what is that trail that runs the Mid-State Trail?
Oh,
But-
okay, right.
Yeah,
The central tree is in Rutland. It's a historic landmark in Rutland.
That's it, Rutland.
okay, yeah.
It's called the central tree. Imagine that. Geographic, yeah, there's a little marker here. Geographical center of Massachusetts, town of Rutland.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, George Washington came through. Did he like, tie his horse up to a tree?
We'd trying to document something like that would be difficult. It would be interesting if we had an old picture where we saw a tree and that tree still was there. Of course, it would look different now.
Yeah,
But in any event, I just wanted to toss that out to anyone to think about it. It would be a relatively simple process. We could also maybe fund a small. One of the things that concerned me was that some of the trees are marked and others aren't. And if you go to I think it's called Legacy Tree of Massachusetts or anyway, if you Google it, there's a website and it
Huh.
lists all the trees. So you can kind of see that. I think they have pictures there too. But some of the trees are marked and others aren't, and some of them are on private property. So they're listed there, but you may not have access to go visit them.
is there a
So I'm-
cost like there is on the, to register and,
You can register, you go to typically you would go to the homeowner to see if there's any objections.
Hmm.
And some people have no objections to you visiting the tree, or others might because of private property. But I think that it would be nice that if there was a tree, a historic tree, we should have a small marker. Doesn't have to be a big fancy historic marker, but at least a marker identifying the tree and the historical significance.
What about by Mary Goodnow's grave?
That, I thought of that too. I need to take a hike out there again.
yeah,
and see what's there.
Or the Mastodon site?
that in Northborough or Shrewsbury?
Yeah. No, it was Northborough. Do you know
That's
about the
something weird.
Mastodon site?
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that near the ski area?
Yeah, it's near,
Yeah.
it's near the Shrewsbury line, but it was in
Okay.
Northborough.
Okay. Well, just something to throw out and think about if anyone has any ideas. And then I could get in touch with the garden club and we can do what's needed to help with the
I think of
application.
historically significant things that we know about, the Mastodon site, I would think, maybe, or the Goodnow grave.
Well, now that I have that appreciation for the trees, next time when I go to one of the historic sites, I'll look for some tree that might be significant there. Okay, before we get to the end, this is under new business. The National Park Service has a seminar on substitute materials for historic buildings. I sent it around to everyone. I think I'm going to attend tomorrow, but they added a.
I did go to the one on the,
Pardon me?
I did go to the one on the 6th.
Oh, you did? Oh,
It was interesting.
yeah. Yeah, I know Tom, I think, would be interested in that. He's not here now, but
Mhm.
they're adding a new seminar in April. So if you can't make tomorrow's seminar, I plan to attend tomorrow. Just anyway, it's just of interest.
Yeah, it looked interesting with my work schedule. It's kind of tough.
Okay, I had a request passed on to me from the town administrator about an inquiry about a private home. And these people said that they had purchased a historic home They did a lot of renovation and they were looking for possible funding. I asked around, and because it's a private home, I just don't know of any programs currently that would fund private homes. It would either be funding to a town or to a nonprofit.
And I would think even if it were, they'd have to apply for something in advance. It wouldn't be an
Exactly.
after the fact anyway.
I
like
think
for
they were
any
just
resource.
they were just saying that they rather than destroy the home, they decided they were going to try to renovate it, and of course I sent a email to them with appreciation, but saying that I wasn't aware of any programs. I don't know if anyone else is, but I did ask for the address. I didn't hear back, so I sent a reminder email to get their address, so at least we could look it up in Macris and get some
Yeah.
information to them. And I was thinking also we would send them a letter of appreciation for the renovation. But if they don't get back to me, then there's not much I can do. So once I hear, we can discuss it next meeting to see about sending a letter of appreciation.
If they're with their name, you should be able to find their address. That should be easy enough.
I think I just had a first name.
No, then that's not so easy.
Yeah. And it was one of these things where it was sent by the town website email, and then it was forwarded to me. So I'll give them a few days. I can then do some digging to find out if they may not want me to know their address. Okay. The last thing on the agenda goes back to the review of tasks under the historic preservation plan. We don't have a lot of time. I went through it and I'd sort of taken some notes. It looks like a lot of the things that we have under our current new business and old business fits in very nicely with the promote awareness of historic Northborough and promote protection of historic properties. So I just noted that the thing that Amanda did on Proctor School fit in very nicely. The Revolution 250 fits in nicely with the promote awareness of historic significance in Northborough. White Cliffs, the signs, the aqueduct, and the library signs. So I didn't have anything new to add. I didn't know if anyone else had anything on the objectives that we would add as a new project going forward. Did anyone have anything?
Not me.
We could take more time and discuss it next week, next month.
Are you looking for like topics to just sort of,
Project areas that would fit in with our objectives that are found on those pages, NCH 2-2, -3 and -4.
yeah, and the only thing that I've sort of been tossing around in my head is really trying to find out some of the contributions to the town that have been made by either minorities or, other ethnicities. And I'm having trouble finding a lot in that.
That's a good idea. And I wrote some notes about we have an objective to work with trails and open space, which I think we're doing right now, or at least we're
Right.
attempting to. In terms of what you were talking about, Millie, is that something we should approach the diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging?
I was thinking maybe that, or even the cultural committee,
Cultural.
things like that. But yeah, a diversity, equity, inclusion, I think would be kind of probably a good starting point. There just isn't a lot in the historical aspect that's been documented,
Right.
but it's got to be there.
Okay. Well, if you have anything to report next month,
Okay.
you can do that. And anyone else that wants to add to it, I do believe we have a full plate going on, but just going through it, and I was taking notes in the margins showing that a lot of the areas are being covered by some of the current things that we're doing. Like this new thing about the legacy tree program is an example.
Mm,
Something.
kind of fun. Yeah.
Okay. So that's all I had. Anything, other issues for the commission that we have not covered?
I don't have anything. I just wanted to add one possible idea for the $450. Just when we were talking about the various houses in town, maybe how, like markers for houses, historic markers for, the little plaque that goes on the house. Those
Yeah.
aren't very expensive.
Or
You have one of those on your house, Brian?
for private
Yeah.
house?
You have one on your house?
Well, I have a saying that I have a saying that the militia was there
Oh, wow.
and it's on the house,
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, just a thought. I'm just trying to think of, inexpensive, when we were talking about various houses around town, it just
yeah,
popped into my head.
I mean,
So maybe
gonna
for the
see it.
agenda.
That is a good idea. Has that been done before by the commission?
We
For
offer,
private
I
homes?
think we offered some of the historic homes. I think
Yeah.
we sent letters out. I'd have to ask Norm, but I think we sent letters offering them
yeah,
a
we
bunch of
did.
years ago.
Okay. Next time I see Norm, I'll ask him to see, but
Hmm.
that is a good idea, and that shouldn't be very expensive.
Yeah, I would think they're 100 or 200, bucks a piece. They can't be too much.
All right, any other items? No? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So
So moved.
moved.
Second?
Second,
Okay. Leslie,
Aye.
Brian Swanson,
Thank you.
he does?
Aye.
Okay. Amanda,
Aye.
Millie,
Aye.
Brian Smith,
I
and I vote aye. Okay, so we're